more example of law of sines, because the first problem we did in the first video, you found a missing side. Here I want to show you how to find a missing angle. Before we do that, I want to explain one thing I didn't really explain in the first video. The reason we're using law of sines for these triangles is because on these triangles, SOHCAHTOA doesn't work. So SOHCAHTOA, where we find the opposite, the adjacent, and the hypotenuse, and set up an equation using sine, cosine, or tangent, that only works if you have a right triangle. If you don't have a right triangle, a triangle with a right angle, you can't use this. It doesn't work. It only works with right triangles. So keep that in mind. So if you have a triangle that does not have a right angle, you can't use SOHCAHTOA. You'll have to use something like law of sines. So on number 6, and this is actually a problem from your assignment, so make sure you get this one down. It says find the measure of angle C. So angle C, I'm going to go ahead and mark that. I'm going to use a couple different colors here to keep track of things. So I'm going to mark angle C. And here's what I want to be really careful of. If you look at this triangle, all 3 sides are marked. We have information about all 3 sides. You only need to work with 2 of the sides. So you have to be really careful about which 2 you're going to use. So what I'm going to do with angle C is I'm going to find its opposite side. So I'm going to start here at C, go across the triangle. The opposite side from angle C is 21. So my first fraction, I'm going to have sine of angle C over the opposite side, which is 21. And that's going to equal something. So now I need a second fraction. And to make a second fraction, I have to have an angle I already know, because I already have an angle I don't know. So the only way I'm going to find this is if I have an angle where I already know what the measurement is. And that would be angle A. I know angle A is 88 degrees. And again, I want to find the opposite side. So I'm going to go across from angle A to the other side of the triangle, and I get to the 26. So my second fraction is going to be sine of 88 over 26, the opposite side. And I have one side, the 16.1, I don't need it. It's great that I know that, but I don't need it to solve the problem. This is all I need to solve the problem. So to work this out, I could cross multiply, but I don't really need to fully cross multiply. Here's what I need to do. I need to get rid of the 21 that's underneath sine of C. So what I'm going to do is take this 21, multiply it by the other side, and it's going to end up on top here. So what I'm going to end up with is sine of C equals 21 goes up top, 21 sine of 88 over 26. So that's all you really need to do, because you're trying to get C by itself. So you want to get rid of the 21. So just multiply by the 21. It goes up on top. And now you have sine of C equals this fraction right here. And I'm going to go ahead and figure out what that is. So we have 21 sine of 88 over 26. So I'm going to go to the Google calculator here. I have 21 sine of 88 divided by, nope, don't want to do that. Let's go ahead and just 21 sine of 88. 21 sine of 88 is that. Then I divide it by 26. This is over 26. And that gives me this number right here, this long decimal. And so it's 0.807 approximately. So I'm going to jot that down. 0.807. That's about what that is. Now, that's not my answer, though, because that is sine of angle C. I want to actually know what angle C is. So as before with other problems we've done, whenever you're trying to find an angle, you have to do the inverse. So now what I have to do is inverse sine of this number I just wrote down right here, 0.807, and that is going to tell me what my angle is. So I'm going to go back to the Google calculator. And remember, make sure you're set on degrees, and I am, so I'm good there. But I'm trying to find inverse sine, so inverse, and then hit the sine button, the sign with a little -1. And then here's the quick way to do this on the Google calculator, and there's ways to do this on other calculators too. If you look closely at this, the answer I got, the 0.807, is saved up here. It says answer equals, and so it saves your previous answer. And so to put that back into the problem, you hit the answer button. And now it's going to take the inverse sine of whatever I got as my last answer. And I'm going to do that because that's going to give me a more accurate result. If I was going to round off that answer, it would still give me something that's pretty close, but I'm going to have more error. So if you can, try to plug your answer back into the calculator like that. Anyway, so I'm going to see what that gives me. And it gives me, I'm going to round it off. The instructions on this problem on the worksheet say round to the nearest tenth. So I'm going to go one place after the decimal. And this is going to round to 53.8 degrees. So our angle here, angle C, so measure of angle C is 53.8 degrees. And so that's how you can use law of sines to find a missing angle. So you set it up the same way you do for a missing side. You multiply by the number that's underneath your variable. You work that out on a calculator, and then you take the inverse sine of that number, and that will tell you your